people and says, this is the Council of Elders.
So how many people make up the council?
There is a Grand Council that makes voting decisions of 12. At present, there are 38 members on the council. On the Grand Council of that, you have a Grand Council of 12, and you have the Security Council that handles security.
So how does the Council of Elders relate to the Maroon Council?
There is the Chief Currie has called his administration the Maroon Council. That's what he calls his administration.
Right.
Right. There's that's his present administration, his members. But we as the council communicate with them, and they're to communicate with us. As the council has just been newly formed, we have a phone number, we have an email, and we are in communication with Chief Currie, and his council understands that we exist. So there's open communication channels if need be.
Okay, but you're in a situation now that is, what should I say, a contentious situation, I think it's fair to say. So do you think there is likely to be concern about the fact that there seems to be an ad hoc body constituted without any representative process?
The council has never done representative processes. It is a elders coming together and forming themselves amongst themselves. It needs nobody's validation. Just as before, more than 5 generations or 6 generations ago, we never had an election for chief. First, we have had traditional standards and way of doing things. The Council of Elders has always been. It's never been voted. Not people vote on it. It's the elders who come together out of their natural responsibility and love for the community and put themselves together.
Okay, the Maroon Council, I know you say you don't accept the Constitution, but according to the Constitution that's on the website, it says the Maroon Council is composed of members chosen every 7 years by the Maroon people of Accompong, including those who reside outside the boundaries, who are blood related, and return to Accompong to cast their vote. No person shall be a full council member until they're 18, must be a Maroon citizen within the Maroon territory. It says, let me see, I was trying to find the part about, it speaks of communities who vote, right? So tell me how you see this process playing out now. Let me ask you, Mr. Rowe, if I could ask Mr. Rowe. Sir, how do you see this? How do you see this process playing out?
Those articles that they put in place was designed, it was a political consideration because it has never been before. It's a clear breach of our custom and tradition. What it actually is saying, that if you is a blood maroon and you live outside of a compound, your rights are limited. You are limited. And so when it comes to decision making now, they were not able to participate. Mr. Currie don't know anything about the Maroon. He never born there, he never grow there, never go to school there or anything, you know. He's like young but don't know storm. So him trampled on the very tradition and custom of the Maroons. Leaders used to be chosen by showing a hand, and they are removed by showing a hand too. But we just modernize the process by which we use ballots and support. But this present constitution draft up now is a replica of what his own family in Brooklyn, New York has drafted. Stay in New York and draft it and set it down on a platter like that to push on people.
He said on social media that this is an attempt to oust a democratically elected leader. Do you think would you how do you respond to that criticism, Mr. Rowe?
That criticism?
Could I ask Mr. Rowe?
You can have democratic elections when money is spent all over buying votes. You cannot have a democracy there. When you spend all over buying votes, Garlands, Mobile, Kingston, Aberdeen, Windsor, Cedar Spring, Whitehall, everywhere.
Chief Currie has also raised concerns about, how do I put this? Remembering we're on radio. All right, gentlemen. Mm-hmm. But Chief Currie has raised concern about what he believes may have been some financial irregularities of the past. And he has posted a video with you, Mr. Rowe, in which you're seen expressing some concerns as well about how the administration may have been run over the years. Do you still hold on 1 second? Do you still have concerns about some of the ways in which the administration may have been run over the years?
It's a figment of his imagination, because he never knew me until 2020. He didn't know me any at all.
The video is not of you? The video is not of you?
No, and
it's not you in the video?
I was the colonel in charge then.
No, it's not you in the video.
Video?
No, what I'm saying is that he has posted a number of videos in which you are heard expressing your concern about some of the ways in which the administration of the community has been run over the years. And I'm asking if you're still...
The place it. The structure it that way.
All right. I'm nearly out of time, but let me ask you, Mr... Well, both of you, but you first, Mr. Rowe. How do you see this now playing out? What do you think is going to happen?
It's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the way forward?
Yes, especially in relation to the Council of Elders saying it served these articles of impeachment.
Well, Mr. Currie will have to go. Will have to go. In not acting in the interest of the Maroons any at all. Bringing some alien ideas into the things and enforcing on the people. And the people will feel intimidated. Because a number of people in the community get guns from illegal source.
No. Hold on. Stop. We're not going down that road, all right? Stop.
No.
How, though, before I let you go, is this something, is it possible that what is happening, because you're speaking about trampling on traditions and so on, is it possible, though, that other people might see this as a way of trying to pull the community into the 21st century to implement needed modernization processes and improve the status of the Maroons?
That is not
the intention.
any way possible to visualize it that way. Because, for example, it is about modernization.
Sorry, you're breaking up a little bit, Mr. Buzzer. Go again for me.
It is about modernization. We saw a GoFundMe being put up for a water project. Yet there is no description of a water project. There's no engineering report. There's no details of costing. Modernization would mean you'd have contracted first a hydro systems company, get the engineers to look, where's your water source, where you want to pump it, your filters, all of that. Then you present that in a GoFundMe and say, here's what we have. This is the amount of money. This is the equipment, what we're going to do. We're going to be like that, whatever.
All right, fine. I got your concern on that. Finally, I know I said finally, but finally, Mr. Rowe, none of the things Chief Currie has said is that he's had more town halls than either you or Mr. Fern Williams before him. He said he's had 18 town halls in which the community comes together to discuss issues affecting the community, and that the people who are complaining about his leadership have not come to these town halls and participated and raised issues. Have you attended the town halls?
He didn't know me when I was a colonel. He did not know me.
No, sir, I'm so sorry. Perhaps you didn't hear my question. Chief Currie is saying that he has had 18 town halls since he's been chief, and that the people who are complaining have not been participating in the community discussions and dialogue. And I'm asking you if you've been participating in the town halls.
People cannot participate under the shadow of fear and anarchy.
So you
Let me finish answering that, please.
No, Mr. Buzzer. I'd like Mr. Rowe to finish answering what he's answering. Hold on. Have you been to any of the town halls, Mr. Rowe?
Well, I just answered by saying that those were privately arranged.
How could they be privately arranged?
Because we were not informed.
But the notices are posted in the community, though.
Right. And then you're asking people. Notices are posted a year 2 or 3 before. We have, if you're saying modernization, I had said to him, I said, sir, in order to keep the community informed, I said, you need a proper website. Why is it you don't have a WhatsApp group? That's so that the community, people must interface. You must be able to post up your meetings, post
Okay,
up what
so-
you're doing. When he sees these meetings, he tells the community what he has done. He doesn't share with the community.
How many have you been to, Mr. Bozro?
I've been to almost all except probably the last 2.
So your concern is what exactly then about the meetings?
That, for example, a meeting was set where he invited the people from the South Carolina Association to tell the community about their lawsuit, while simultaneously he was filing a lawsuit and did not tell us. So it's almost like he was deceiving the people by having someone else tell us about their lawsuit. That meeting should have been him telling us and asking our opinion before filing the lawsuit. It's after the lawsuit filed.
Okay.
Then we are informed.
Okay, and final question then. I keep saying that. Final question then for you, Mr. Bozro. Do you believe you have the support of a majority of the community members for this action?
As the process unfolds and the people are made aware of the and the errors and the treachery, the more support we already have, a overwhelming support, and as the process unfolds, because the idea of this
Sorry,
is...
I'm not clear. Is that a yes or a no? Do you think you believe right now you have the support of the majority of the community?
Yes, we
Okay.
do, and as the process unfolds, more will gather because we'll get more clarity and understanding of the issues.
I have to leave it there, but can I thank you two gentlemen so very much for your time? I hope we can keep in touch because we want to keep track of the process and how it's going.
Have a good evening.
And the same to you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Rowe. Appreciate it.
Miss D.
Former Colonel Murdy Rowe as well as Daniel Bozro from the Accompong Maroon Board of Elders, also known, they say, as a Council of Elders, I beg your pardon. All right, shifting gear now. So we now have Chief of the Accompong Maroons with us, Colonel Richard Currie. Chief Currie, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Hi, good evening, Dionne. Thank you for having me.
All right, so we heard Mr. Bozro and Mr. Rowe saying it's the Council of Elders that is taking this action. First of all, you've been served. They say you've been served.
So let me confirm that, Dionne, that I have not been served. I have not been served with any paper, with any document, and the process as per the recently ratified Constitution has not been observed, and a Council of Elders has not been constituted, which then brings the question, who are these people in terms of the entity that they're representing?
All right, let me ask you though, because you and your supporters or your administration runs into an immediate issue because Mr. Rowe, Mr. Bozro, they're saying they don't believe this constitution on which you're relying is legitimate. They don't believe it's lawful. They don't believe it was legitimate arrived at, and they're not recognizing it. So I hear the procedure you outlined, but they're saying we're not business with that because we don't recognize that constitution. So
let me ask you this question, dear, because it is very important, and I want to hear your response on this, right? A process which took over 8 months. Mind you, this constitution was a 2004 constitution which was not ratified, that was amended and ratified March of 2022. This was also one of the conditions that came out of a meeting we had, a mediation setting we had prior to the election, that the elected leader would pursue the amendment of the constitution to rid away long-standing issues of governance that were pending with the 2004 constitution. All of these persons were a part of that meeting, mind you. Bozro and former Colonel Murdy Rowe were both candidates in the previous election. And Mr. Bozro did not get nominated. He required 10 supporters to be nominated to get into the ballots. He did not make the ballots. Mr. Murdy Rowe got 76 votes, I believe, in the election. Now, let me move forward to say this. The process in which the Constitution was amended took place as accordance with the Constitution that existed prior, meaning a committee was formed, we had consultations in all the communities, not just Accompong, right, to which we garnered over 1,000 signatures to this document. Now, is it that any citizen of Jamaica can get up and decide that, we don't read this Constitution, we don't business about it, and go and decide to form another state and call themselves an entity or whatever it is they want to call it, but decide to go against what the Constitution would have put forward? Is this the way that governance is run in this 21st century? And is Jamaica prepared to accept that any farmer group can go and decide, we don't believe in this constitution, we're not going to go with it, and do as they please? Is that how governance works? Well, I don't think so.
Yeah, well, clearly though, there, as I mentioned, there's an issue, because if they are proceeding on the basis of saying, we're going according to this traditional process because we don't believe your constitution. Sorry, frog in my throat. But because we don't believe the constitution is lawful, you don't have a document on which to proceed. I tell you what, let's take the break. We'll come back in a moment.
Jamaica. It is now 6:30 on Radio Jamaica.
Rest easy with Quartz and be assured we've got you covered. Get up to 40% off mattresses. Get any size on select mattress for the same price. Buy select bedroom sets and get a free 32-inch TV. Plus ACs as low as $679 weekly. Shop today. You choose your plan on 3 to 48 months credit. Only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Special conditions apply.
It's easy as 99 Remember this one number 994328 to serve you faster, better, easier.
Heart NSTA Trust.
One number, many locations. One number for your information. With one number you can reach any heart location. 876-994-3278.
What is independence? At Hypro, we believe real independence means self-sufficiency, sustainability. It means developing the capacity to grow what we eat and eat what we grow smartly. Hypro continues to be your source for quality agricultural inputs and technical support to make sure Jamaica produces the best quality crops, poultry, and livestock. We sacrifice to achieve political independence. Let's work together to secure our food independence. Grow with Hypro.
Need to expand operations? Ready for a bigger location? Boost your growing business with NCB SME Boost today. SME Boost is NCB's fully secured loan facility, specially developed for medium-sized businesses in any productive sector. Access up to 250 million Jamaican dollars with the flexibility and competitive interest rates that you need. The next level is in reach. Apply today at www.jntb.com/SME or speak to a business representative at your nearest NCB branch. Conditions apply.
More savings, more choices. Get active with Active Home Center. The one-stop shop for everything for your home. We have more savings, more choices, unbelievable prices.
Have you checked out our new location in Freeport, Montego Bay? The time is now! Shop the largest selection of tiles in Montego Bay. Bathroom fixtures, lighting, windows, doors, and more for your home. We are located just below the Freeport Police Station. Visit us today.
More savings, more choices.
You're listening to Beyond the Headlines with Dionne Jackson-Miller.
Okay, thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with you on Beyond the Headlines. I'm Dionne Jackson-Miller. We're talking about the assertions by the Maroon Board of Elders in Accompong, or Council of Elders. They're saying they're also referred to as saying they've served impeachment articles on Chief Richard Currie. He's with us. He says he has not been so served. We also have the acting chair of the Accompong Maroon Council, Socorro Genus. And we thank you both so much for staying with us. Just before I got to chair Genus, so Colonel Currie, though, because obviously we're seeing, anyone can look on and say, okay, we're seeing some kind of clash coming. We're seeing, I don't mean physical. We're seeing problems arising because what we have here is two separate governance processes as alleged by the two different organizations that are on parallel tracks. So how do you intend to proceed in relation to this? What do you intend to do?
All right. First of all, Dionne, let me again make it emphatically clear that a Board of Elders has not been constituted since the ratification of the 2004 Constitution. Secondly,
sorry, I have to stop you there because again, because this is what I'm asking, because again, you're referencing the Constitution. This group is saying they don't recognize the Constitution, so they're not going to take that into account at all, which is why I'm asking how you plan to resolve this with a group that says they don't recognize the document.
So what I'm saying is, Dionne, if we're talking traditionally and what we recognize, we do not recognize rogue elements or rogue entities. We have a structure. We've always had. The Maroons have always had a structure, a protocol, and a governance procedure which has always been adhered to. What these guys are trying to do is create what you would call an opposition. That is not a part of the Maroon tradition. That is not a part of our culture. Now, if it is that they want a voice, there is an avenue for that, Dionne. And if it is they do not pay attention to the Constitution, that is also their choice. But understand that the laws of the land, not Accompong, but all the other districts which would have taken to the ballots in a democratic process, would have elected a leader and would have been constituted as such. By the way, the meeting with regards to the Constitution was overseen by Donna Parchment Brown. So that is on file and on record for you, Dionne. So what I'm saying to you, this was the recognition of issues that were long-standing with the previous Constitution, that each leader, each candidate at the election would have made a priority and sworn to have the amended Constitution completed within their first term of office. Now, if you're saying that these two candidates who ran against me and lost went out, started an entity and saying they do not care for the Constitution, this has to be a rogue entity. We have a governance structure that is in place that will be observed by the authorities of the state, and the people have already spoken and constituted. As I said, there is an avenue for anyone who has grievance to air their grievance where it can be addressed. Just before
I go to the chair of the council, but you haven't answered my question yet, which is, I hear your assertion as I heard theirs, but I'm saying, what are you going to do then? So because they say they're going to be having a hearing. If you come, whether you come or not, this hearing is going to go ahead, and presumably if they want to remove you, so presumably they're going to go ahead. I don't know what they're going to do. But they have said they're going ahead with the hearing whether or not you attend, which is why I'm saying, no man, I hear what you're saying, but I'm saying, how are you going to address it? What are you going to do?
Let me tell you, I did not offer for a meeting with a mediator on Sunday at 3 p.m., right? I've made that open offer this morning. I've made it before yesterday, and I'm making it again this evening, right? This is how we then move forward, because if there is something that they need to bring to the floor, there is a process to do so there, and that's what I'm saying. So let us have that meeting. Basra himself, was not even at any of these meetings having to do with the Constitution. Neither was Mr. Rowe, both who reside from outside the community. Basra was staying in the community for a short period of time. So you need to understand the dynamics of also what is happening. All of this opposition and this noise is coming from persons who do not reside in Accompong, Dionne.
Gentlemen, I tell you what, I have an issue I have to go and deal with in 2-3 minutes, so I'm going to have to perhaps continue it tomorrow because I know I'm cutting your time short, but I have to bring on Dionne Anderson. So let me just go to the chair of the Maroon Council and ask you, Secretary Genus, I beg your pardon, Mr. Bozra as well as Mr. Rowe are asserting that this council is a puppet, essentially, of the Maroon chief, that Chief Currie set up y'all, so y'all going to do anything he wants. Is there any independence of thought in the council? How does that work?
It sure is an independence because persons were voted for, not persons, community persons voted for to elect persons for that position on the full council. So we have representatives from each community that is seated on this council.
So when Mr. Rowe and Mr. Buzzer are saying this is not a legitimate entity either, you respond how?
But they are the non-legitimate ones.
So what does a council do about this then? Is there anything that you would do, since you are saying that they're a rogue element?
Listen, we're going to be having meetings together as group, we do not recognize them as a community, or we recognize them as Maroons, but with that entity that they are coming about with, it is non-recognizable to us. We have only heard about it on air Sunday morning, so it was being known to us in this community. Now we would have had the Constitution, which is a problem to them, as you would have said. Many other colonels would have gone in the position when it was there. They had issues with it. But there comes a time when persons have issues and they draw for it and they pick the article out of it to fit their problem at that time. Now, as Chief would have mentioned, would have gone ahead and ratified this Constitution and know we have something to govern us. We're not playing a loose game here. Everybody has something that is there to govern them and what they do. So if it is a case where you're not comfortable with something that is happening, then you know what to do. Come and do it by the book. You don't stay one side out of the community and be doing your thing out there and then publicly announces it for us to be hearing it that way. You're not here. We don't recognize you here. We don't see you. We don't hear you. And to be honest, most of the persons whose name came out on that document are denying it, that they know nothing about it.
All right, let me just ask finally before I wrap for today. As I say, I'm going to continue this because I apologize, I do have to cut you both short. But Colonel Currie, one thing we heard from Mr. Rowe and Mr. Buzzer, they're saying they're confident that they have the majority of the community behind them, so they are able to proceed. Do you think perhaps you have in fact lost the support of your community without knowing it? So you are vulnerable to being ousted. Chief Currie?
Absolutely not, Dionne. And, again, these are the rumors that have been slurred and spun around to the public for them to believe that there's chaos here and there's chaos in Accompong. The people here are committed. Like I said, I welcome these guys to an open town hall meeting. You heard me say it live on radio. I invite Sir Ron Williams, Merdy Rowe, and Daniel Bozra to Accompong for a small meeting. Next week.
All right, gentlemen, we'll follow up. I have to leave it there. As I said, we do have to talk to Dionne Anderson. We appreciate you both talking to us. We'll follow up and we'll keep in touch. We're following this one closely. Thank you so much. Chief of the Accompong Maroons, Colonel Richard Currie, and Acting Chair of the Accompong Maroon Council, Secretary Genus.